All right, what is up, guys? We're here with my brother Garrett. We are going to do a Tiermaker list. I've been seeing a lot of these on YouTube, so we're going to be doing North American sport fish. We're going to be ranking them from S to D. I don't know why S is at the top, but
Super.
it's super, and then A, B, C, D.
Decent is at the bottom.
Days. All right, so our first fish. So we're going to kind of discuss these, and the average of R2 is where we're going to put it on the list. So we'll just put them first, and then we'll go back through and make sure. So the first one is a sunfish, bluegill or pumpkin seed.
For starting out fish, it's probably one of the best ones, but for older people, I'd say C.
C. That's where I was going to put it as well.
C.
C. It is a great fish to learn on.
So that's what we learned on.
Brook trout.
Oh, brook trout, A or S. I love the look of brook trout. They're one of the more fun things to chase after. They're a little bit harder to find sometimes, but...
You think so? I think I was going to put B.
You're going to put them at B?
They're stupid.
They're stupid, but they're one of the prettiest fish on the list by far.
They're pretty, but there's like no skill involved in catching
Yeah,
them.
but I'm not going on skill. It's the ones I like to catch.
Okay.
I love catching brook trout.
I said B, you said S or A, so we'll go with A.
All right.
And so the next one we're gonna do is brown trout.
That one's definitely S.
Definitely S. Okay. Brown trout can be an apex predator, can sip dry flies. It's just an awesome fish.
It's also more impressive to catch a big brown trout than it is pretty much any other fish.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, this is a common carp.
D. They have a face only a mother can love, and they stink.
I literally added carp just so we had something for D. A lot of people like catching carp.
I heard they're good fighting, but
Yeah, I've heard they're good fighting too, but I don't want to catch them,
they're so ugly.
and I don't want to touch them
And
either.
they stink. They really stink. They're just so ugly. I can't do it.
All right, this is a lake trout.
I've never caught one. I would really like to catch one.
Yeah.
I would probably say B.
So we did a walleye charter, and like the walleye we'll get to walleye later, but we hooked a lake trout and it went nuts.
Oh yeah, I heard they fight insane. And they get huge.
Plus
like the Niagara
We
River
catch them out of the Niagara.
they get ginormous. I really wanted to try that
Yeah.
before we left, but
Yeah, I think B's a good.
yeah.
Sweet fish, not quite S tier or A tier,
But that might just be because we haven't fished them for them yet.
yeah. Largemouth bass.
I gotta go A. They were what I grew up catching and destroyed you at. Still destroy you at bass fishing.
I can get on board with A. I'm not the biggest fan of bass in general, but yeah, they're fun fish.
Well,
Lures.
they're very common. They can be hard, but they're also not too hard. They're not like a really big brown trout where it's like almost impossible to find them.
Yeah.
They're always everywhere, and they readily eat stuff.
Definitely. Musky.
I like muskie a lot.
Yeah.
Every time I've hooked one, I've freaked out. So.
I was gonna say S.
Yeah, S.
Because
I'll give it an S.
I tried the few times I almost had one on my fly rod. It was just the most incredible thing in the entire world.
Well, the adrenaline rush of actually hooking a muskie is unlike any other fish I've ever caught. Just because I've only hooked like 4 or 5 of them, and the big ones that I've ever hooked have been insane.
And like the ability to like almost pee your pants because it
like, holy crap, that's a big fish.
took a fly. What about perch?
I have to put them at C with the sunfish because they're about the same. Usually catch sunfish and perch same places, at least where we grew up.
C for perch. Yeah, they're a C.
They're great beginner fish, and if you like eating them, they're fantastic.
They're a C or a D for me.
But do I actively go out and fish for them? Not very often.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna throw in a wild card here. So this right here, you know what this is?
Is that a splake?
It's a Rocky Mountain whitefish.
D.
And see,
D.
I just put this one in there because we've been agreeing a lot. I love whitefish.
I hate them. I catch them by the hundreds, and they're the most annoying fish to catch because they just lay there and they fight forever. They fight for so long. I'm just like, I don't want to break you off because my flies are expensive, but they freaking suck. And I catch them every cast, and they're so annoying.
I caught a really nice. So they're definitely not an A. They're definitely not an S. I would say that they're a B. They're just they're a really.
They are as ugly as carp, and they stink, and they're annoying.
But I love them like Make-A-Wish.
God.
So you say D, I say B, so we'll throw them in at C. I like whitefish. I mean, don't get me wrong. They don't compare to a trout. I'd much rather catch a trout. But when you're having a slow day and you catch a whitefish, it's better than no fish.
Well, yeah, everything's better than no fish. But when you catch, I'll take you to the Gallatin on this summer, and we'll catch 100 whitefish in a row.
Yeah.
And it's the most annoying thing ever because you're targeting. You can see trout, but the damn whitefish eats it every time.
Yeah, I'll have fun. Northern pike.
I'd have to go maybe A or B.
I'd say a B. You know, they're the thing, but so muskie and pike, you know, same family. They're the big difference. They get about the same size, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
The big difference is how much more common pike are to catch. Like they don't have. There's no lure to a pike like there is like the fish of 10,000 casts. There is for a muskie. Don't get me wrong. I would still be pumped. Like when I was fishing for muskie, like had I caught a pike, like I would
still be pumped. But they don't have like the mystique of a muskie does. Like pike are kind of. You hear about the stories of people going to Canada catching a couple thousand of them.
Plus, you catch a lot of smaller ones.
Yeah, and you never hear those stories about muskies. If you get like a one fish day, it's crazy.
Well, and like muskie fishing, like we was talking about in the last podcast that I did, like just seeing one, like your day is successful.
Yeah.
So I have separated here. We have rainbow trout and steelhead, and so I separated them. Technically, they're the same species, but I separate them because there's a big difference between the two. So let's do rainbow trout first.
I'd have to say
A.
A or B.
I'm saying in my heart says B, just because I am not. When it comes to resident rainbow trout, I'm not a super huge fan. Don't get me wrong, I caught a bunch of rainbow trout today, and they were fun. But I would much rather catch a brown or a brook over a rainbow.
Yeah, but the thing that brings them up for me to like the A is when you get that football rainbow that will just try to destroy your backing and just go ham. They're so much fun to fight.
Yeah.
Where browns, they kind of try to just bulldog you. They stay down. Rainbows will jump 5 feet out of the water, do flips, and go crazy, and they're a lot more fun to fight.
They're a lot.
And they're also pretty prevalent. You catch a lot of them.
Yeah. So A or B?
Either one. I'm happy with either. I shoot more towards A, but
okay, let's put A. Okay, what about a steelhead?
B or C.
B or C.
I hate steelhead. Just because I don't ever catch them. I suck at fishing.
See, steelhead. And so the reason I put this in here is because I prefer steelhead to regular rainbow trout. But here's why. Okay, it's not because, and look, trust me, steelhead frustrate the crap out of me as well. I have lost many of triggeredness to steelhead.
And they've broken 3 of your rods this year.
Yeah, 2. One was a salmon. The thing I like about rainbow trout versus steelhead is that, a rainbow trout is much more readily to eat, and that's what annoys me. Like when I'm reading a steelhead stream, our Great Lakes steelhead, it's like, if this was trout fishing, I would have caught a bunch of fish right now, and there would be fish here. The thing that I like more about a steelhead versus traditional rainbow is the size and the fight.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's why I kept them. If they didn't fight really well, they'd be at definitely C, definitely D. But the size too is not, especially because you can get them in really small streams, and you can just find some just giant fish in really small streams. That's really cool.
Yeah.
But then again, there's been multiple occasions where it's been 15 degrees and we've gotten fishing.
I agree. I did just have some flashback because when I put this in there, I assumed I was going to be putting up towards S or A, to be honest. But having some of those flashbacks, well, 1, because we're doing averages, but 2, having some of those flashbacks and some of the, I almost just had an anxiety attack thinking about it.
I almost died steelhead fishing.
That's because you don't know how to.
Scobie Dam. I stepped off that ice shelf and went under.
That's just you.
It's because I'm short.
Yeah. All right, salmon.
S.
I
love salmon.
Are you serious?
I love salmon. Just because I went 3 years in a row at the Salmon River and I hooked hundreds of fish and never landed one.
Yeah. I was gonna put D.
Why?
I hate salmon.
Yeah, but when you actually hook them, they are the funnest to fight.
When you actually hook them.
Remember that hour-long battle you had with that salmon?
I mean, that was pretty sweet, but like they also don't eat. Like you're essentially just drifting the fly. Like the whole
principle. Then maybe put them at A or B. Then.
I was gonna put them at B because I mean, don't get me wrong. They fight hard and they're fun to hook.
They're the most fun to fight.
But they literally, when I hook a salmon, and that's how I broke one of my rods. I was trying to break it off because I didn't want it. Like, because you just land it and it's ugly and it's stupid.
Oh, I love them. They get really big, and yeah, they don't eat very much, which is what my gripe against the steelhead were. Yeah. But when you do hook one, it's like, especially when we were using the 7 weights, it was like an hour-long fight, sometimes even longer than that, and it's fun to tell stories about.
No, we definitely have some. No, don't get me wrong, we definitely have. But like right now, of all these fish on here, I'm not going salmon fishing before I fish for any of these other 5 fish. That's why I put them down at B.
But I would definitely make a trip every year to go salmon fishing. Yeah, I would definitely schedule that.
I would do.
Where steelhead.
So we're gonna do this one last. We'll do walleye next. So I have walleye down here as C or a D. And
I would go with C.
C. And so my reasoning for this, I love walleye are the best tasting fish
by far.
Like if we're just doing taste, they're up here at S.
Yeah.
But like
we've never caught them.
When I went trolling for walleye in Lake Erie, it's just a boring way of fishing.
Yeah.
It's
that's also partially how you fish.
I fish, but they're at deep depths. Mm-hmm. They don't fight necessarily. Really, like they jump, they blow their swim bladder, and they're dead. You reel them in.
Yeah.
So like, and you can't throw them back. Like there's no catch and release when you catch them that deep.
Yeah.
You have to keep them. You have to kill them.
But they are pretty cool fish.
They're pretty cool looking. Super cool, and I love we did a lot of shocking for them when I worked in Pennsylvania. I loved them fisheries wise, but as a fishing fish, for me, it's just all these fish I'm fishing for before walleye.
Yeah.
I'm specifically fishing for whitefish before I fish for walleye.
Oh. Which is weird because we come from the walleye capital of the world.
And then I saved this one for last. We got smallmouth bass.
Super
S. I saved this for last because I knew this one was going to be low. And I wanted to put smallmouth up at S. I figured you'd be pretty high on it.
Oh, Lake Erie smallmouth are some of my best memories fishing are from Lake Erie smallmouth.
Well, Lake Erie smallmouth are sick, and I definitely put them up from S just for Lake Erie's. But where I think I really got my respect for smallmouth was not last summer, but the summer before, living on the Allegheny and fly fishing for them on the Allegheny River, and hooking fish and thinking, oh,
it's a giant.
This is giant, and then bringing it in at 6 inches. It's tiny.
Yeah, they're incredible. They're incredible fish.
It was actually incredible.
Yeah.
Fights harder than anything pound for pound.
You remember that first year we went to the harbor when the fish came in, the bait balls came in? It was literally every cast we were catching just 15, 16-inch smallmouth. I still don't think I've ever had a better day of fishing than those days.
It's hard to beat smallmouth.
Yeah. They fight ridiculous. They can get pretty big. They're cool looking because they got that tiger stripe and they got those really red eyes.
And they get orange eyes, bronze backs. Plus you catch them in the river, catch them in the lake.
Very versatile.
Pretty awesome fish. Cold water, warm water.
Yeah.
So we have for S, we have the brown trout, we have muskie, smallmouth. We're in agreement.
Yeah.
A's, brook trout, largemouth, rainbow.
Yeah.
And then B's, we have the lake trout, pike, steelhead, salmon. C, we have sunfish, perch, whitefish, walleye.
Yeah, and you know what you forgot?
What?
Grayling.
Yeah, but I know. I wanted to do the most. I wanted to include a lot of. I was going to do it just all trout species. Like we're going to do whitefish, we're going to do char, but there's more fishing than just trout.
Yeah.
So, grayling would be an S. I'm not gonna lie.
I put them at an A. They're dumber than brook trout.
Yeah, but they're so cool. They're like a whitefish, but with a sail on the back.
Oh, they're much cooler than the whitefish. Everything down here, they're much cooler than. But
the panfish did not do very well.
Well, just because we haven't really fished for panfish in years.
Well, and to be honest, the sea, we're catch and release anglers. If you do this for someone that's,
wants to eat them,
catching and cooking clean, or catch and cook,
They're probably the two best.
These three are probably these three.
Yeah, and crappie.
Yeah,
along with them.
crappie. I didn't put that on here.
Yeah.
But yeah, and carp, I think we're in agreement up to you.
Yeah. Screw carp.
I still think whitefish could go up. But
No.
All right, we're all in agreement here?
Yeah.
Good, I agree. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Appreciate my brother hanging out with me, rating some fish with me. Please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.